I'm being told that we're live-ish. If we are, then hello again, everyone. About to get into that game number 1, right, Storm?
Yeah, for sure. Game 1 is definitely about to happen, and it has not already concluded. We're not looking at this beautiful screenshot of, looks like Olaf did indeed get ahead and get to 3-shot people.
Yeah, looks like that's what happens. Most gold in the game by pretty comfortable margin as well. Looks like Sourcewalker had a great game on that Dr. Mundo as well, 7-1-12.
Yeah, just looks like a frontline diff. Not a lot. I mean, you got one dragon for the side of Andromeda there.
And a couple of grubs and one tower. And not much else.
Yeah, so that is Conduit, Allegation, Beaters winning this game 1. If you guys could not tell, that's the Flame and Sourcewalker on the Conduit team. Andromeda has Colt and Punda and Six Dogs and things like that. So hopefully we'll be getting quickly here into game number 2 for everyone. Were you kind of expecting this one to have this happen, or were you more on the game 1 favor? I can't remember, Kerman.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like
Krug? Oh no, Krug.
It's
oh, he's back.
Hello, am I here?
I think you're back.
Oh, okay. I guess I was gone for a second. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
But I was trying to say that I do feel like Conduit's composition was probably a little bit easier to pilot overall. The Olaf really was kind of the big question mark in terms of how that was actually going to go. And the fact that Flame was able to pop off so hard, I think, resulted in a pretty one-sided Conduit victory, which does make sense to me. So props to them for making it work. Looks like everybody had a pretty solid performance. Joss struggling just a little bit on the Unara, 3 and 6. We can see there, but his carry performance was not needed to get them over the line in this one, it seems. And Andromeda Voidwalkers, this is obviously playing with a sub in the top lane is not ideal, but definitely pretty, perhaps surprising for them that they would be defeated so handily in this game number 1 tonight. And, again, it is if they can get the next 2 games, and they can still guarantee playoffs. They're not down and out just yet. It is a best of 3. So we'll see if they can bounce back. We'll see if Smoke is still here for game number 2. I don't know if we have confirmation on that yet or not, but
yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, you don't want to you want to be in the playoff berth if you can, right? You don't want to have to play these extra games where it's really going to be your life on the line. It's a lot of undue stress that you don't need. Much better to just come back, get this full best of 3, be able to hopefully get us to cast 2 games here. That's what I'd really like to see. But unbiased, of course, as always. I think both of our teams are just about getting ready here. I see Conduit has readied up on the drafter link. So just waiting on Andromeda to ready up, and then we should be able to get right into draft everyone. Any bans you think are going to really carry over? Do you think this jungle focus is really going to continue in this next game here, or is there some prio pick that you're really looking at here?
Well, the jungle focus certainly did work out for Conduit, kind of targeting that pool of Colt kind of worked pretty well for him. His top 3 most played junglers all getting banned away, and then the Mundo in 5th place there in terms of games played for Colt was obviously picked away from him. So definitely feels like Colt is pretty critical to this Andromeda squad in terms of navigating that early game. So yeah, you see the Ivern taken off the board once again here. Wouldn't surprise me one bit to see Conduit just run back those game 1 bans, and then perhaps even pick away the Ambessa, which is 4th most played on B1. They're going to have that opportunity if they'd like to go for something like that.
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty likely. So yeah, we can see that Andromeda decided that they wanted red side. They went, wow, that counter pick was really good. We should do that this time. And make sure you do that for your top laner. They're going to be the ones to carry. Don't give me this gross mid lane round 5 counter pick. That's not a real lane to counter pick.
What about the support R5 Storm? Those supports can be pretty impactful.
I sometimes like support R5s, but my thing, if you're taking a support round 5, I want you to take a support that actually can like change the game. Like I want to see like Taric round 5 or something. If we're round 5 taking Nautilus, I'm going to be mad at you. And I think that's fair to say. It's like taking Renekton on round 5. It's not worth it. You should have taken it earlier.
Yeah, or like Cassante or something.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah. But we're going to go for the Galio as the last ban here for Andromeda. They had banned away the Mel before. The Mel has now been left open. Perhaps Andromeda tempting Conduit to lock away the Mel here. Maybe they have a response, or maybe they just really want to try to get their hands on that Ambessa that I mentioned before.
Yeah, I've mostly seen Mel most in the bot lane, right? That she's become kind of the new Ziggs. I haven't seen her as much as like an actual, you know, mid laner. That looks like an Orianna first pick. That's
it is
strange.
You think
the
so?
The Ambessa first pick, I think, just made so much sense, right? You're denying such a huge pick from them. You're getting a flex pick as well on blue side round 1. Like I think Ori's really good. I just don't think it's, you know, the best mid laner in the league. I guess with Ahri being taken away, it's probably a little bit better. But that's one of the major
And it is a pretty
lanes.
non-committal first pick, right? You can go a lot of different directions with Orianna. You could try to combo with like the Nocturne, like that's still available if they want to go for something like that. Or you could just go for like a more standard team fighting composition. You're not committing to anything with this B1 Orianna pick. So I do think it's a pretty solid option. It is still very meta. The Xin Zhao and the Corki does feel like a pretty solid 1-2 rotation on the side of Andromeda over there as well.
Yeah, definitely kind of more aggressive picks in some ways. Corki's definitely a champion that you want to be kind of valking forward to get that damage out type thing. But Xin Zhao is, like you said, just so flexible, has the ability to play so many different ways, can play his full dive tools, is able to disengage with his ult and be kind of that pseudo frontline for a little bit as well. So I really like those picks from Andromeda, just kind of keeping everything open, not overly committing like they might have done last game. Conduit's going to take the Jax here.
Yeah, it's a great pick into the Xin Zhao. It really hard counters the Xin Zhao, and you can deliver the ball with the Jax as well. Sivir going to come through also. It's just a great pairing with the Jax, gets him in position, gives him that extra move speed to potentially deliver that ball to a priority target. Feels really powerful. The makings of a really great team fighting composition over here on the side of Conduit. And now Andromeda, I'm expecting a support pick here on 3. They could also take something in the mid lane into the Orianna if they're worried about that mid pool getting pinched.
I think it's kind of like that weird thing of like, do you want Nami here because it's just so good with Corki and it gives your team that kind of like pseudo engage? Ooh, we're gonna go for a spicy counter pick. It looks like that Kali. Yeah. So this is the Ori counter, right? This is like one of the big things that Orianna actually like loses to. Like she can get one shot by a Kali on side lanes. She doesn't necessarily have like the ability to bully her out early, like a lot of other mages are kind of able to, despite having clockwork windup and things like that. Akali's just all-in burst is so high, and Ori has to get so close to her target and loses kind of some of those base values when you move the ball off of you that Akali can just one-shot you in retaliation. So I'm a big fan of going for the spicy counter pick. I like this. Hopefully we get this again happening in the top lane, and then we have 2 counter picks, and we got 2 winning lanes, and then we can get to a game 3. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, Zola, the mid laner over here for Andromeda, does play a good amount of Akali. Is 10 games on it so far this season with an 80% win rate. So a lot of comfortability on that Akali. Won 8 out of 10 of those solo queue games, according to op.gg. So looking pretty good there. We have banned away now the Ambessa and the Rumble. So, you know, obviously the Xin Zhao already getting picked up here. Does mean that Colt does not want to go towards it in this game, so they're going to ban that away alongside the Rumble, and then some support options taken away by Conduit means that the Karma is going to come through alongside that Corki. So very, very powerful lane. Andromeda going to look to play through bot once again here. The Ashe Seraphine not working out for them in game 1, Storm, but they've got another priority lane here in game 2.
Yeah, just it gives you that ability to play for the push so much when you're taking that Karma. Wondering what the Allegation beaters are going to do here. Are they going to be the ones to say, all right, back to Nautilus duty, you know, something like that, if there's going to be an Alistair or something like that coming in? All
right, it's going to be the Thresh actually locked in for Conduit, going up against the Corki Karma. So Thresh, a pretty classic classic pairing alongside those hyper carries. You know, Sivir doesn't have any innate mobility in the kit besides obviously the move speed boost from the ultimate. So Thresh allowing her to reposition, potentially get away from an Akali or something like this could be really valuable. And now it's going to be a blind top lane pick for Flame over here.
Not really loving this Thresh pick. I feel like it's pretty hard to play out. There isn't a lot of good hook targets really from the side of Andromeda. I don't feel like it's going to be that successful. I mean, I guess you can flay Akali out of her shuriken flip and stuff like that. It's really hard to time though, I think. But they're going to go for the Zahen or Zaheen. Zahen.
I prefer Zahen, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So pretty reasonably safe blind. We do have the lore battle of the Zahen versus the Xin Zhao, which is always fun. And then we're going to get the Malphite coming through on R5. You know, Smoke. Do we still have Smoke here? Can you confirm, Macros? Not sure right now. Okay, yeah, so the Mordekais are not really working out in that game number 1, so going for, you know, a little bit more of a team-oriented option here, and the Malphite going to be providing some frontline, which I think they did kind of need. I mean, it's kind of a dive composition, and the Malphite's going to help out with that as well, so feels like a pretty reasonable pick here. Not the most exciting of R5 Storm. You know, you were kind of considering earlier the type of R5 pick that you would be excited about. Where does Malphite rank in this kind of conversation?
Malphite, I think, is kind of down here in like the hard counter picks. It's like, you know, Rammus and this type of thing. That I think it is a good round 5 counter pick. There is a lot of things he's really good into. You know, Jax is very hard to. Malphite is incredibly good into him because you have the attack speed slow. You almost always build Frozen Heart. You have that E damage. So I think this is a great pick for Smoke. It also really simplifies your game, right? There's not a lot you really have to focus on. It's just kind of survive this laning phase. You should never die in this matchup whatsoever. So you don't have to worry about like getting solo killed or things like that. You're always going to be useful even if you're behind for the side of Andromeda. So I think this is a really good pick for them.
Yeah, it also allows Colt to play around that bot lane where they've drafted the quirky Karma that wants to constantly be pushing, so Colt can be down there to defend.
Yeah, I think this is a really solid draft out of Andromeda. It is just the thing of it is pretty risky, right? They have to kind of get a lead again, it feels like, in this game. Yeah. You know, Corki has to get ahead early or he's just going to get picked apart as these fights get later and later. I think Six Dogs might struggle to get like a warding buddy to come with him in certain ways that, you know, Colt and Smoke may be able to frontline and get like picks for him, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of times where it's going to be pretty dark and hard for Karma to face check these bushes. And Conduit have a lot of ways to reposition and kind of get on top of people. So I think there's going to be a lot of danger for Andromeda, but I don't think it's like a clear Conduit win or anything this game. I'm kind of favoring Andromeda in this one. I think, like, you know, nameplates and disregarding that game 1 sub 30-minute victory, I think they have a better composition overall, or one that I like a little bit more. I do think Conduit has a lot of tools, though, to make this game have some huge things, right? You know, there's always the possibility of Ori multi-man shockwaves and things like that. Jax being able to follow those up with the Grandmaster's might and those counter strikes and everything. So Conduit definitely had a very, very good chance in this one. So what are your thoughts on this, Grumman?
Yeah, I mean, nameplates off. I agree. I think Andromeda are feeling pretty good about the fact that they got counter picks in both solo lanes as well as this priority bot lane, you know, but it does really feel pretty similar to the kind of approach that they had in that game number 1, right? And that's, you know, as I think you were kind of already mentioning, is kind of where the concerns start to creep in for the Andromeda esports fans. You know, they were not really able to get a handle on that early game previously, and Conduit just kind of outscaled them and ran away with it. And Conduit have some really strong scaling elements again here, as well as some pretty nice anti-dive tools in the form of that Thresh, and Sivir can really excel in situations where all she needs to do is like kite back and hit whoever's in front of her with boomerangs, and then you get to deal with the ricochets and all that kind of thing. So feels like Conduit are just looking to survive the early game again here, and the pressure really is on the Voidwalkers to try to utilize this bot priority, utilize the kill pressure that you're going to have in the mid lane with this Akali to get themselves some early objectives, get themselves an early lead, and potentially look for a little bit of a snowball. They weren't able to do it last game. We'll see if they can do it here in game 2. Before we go to a break, guys, we do need to spare a quick word for our lovely sponsor, Zen Market. Guys, Zen Market is a one-stop solution for buying products directly from Japan. They will help you buy items from over 10,000 different shops, and they will also help you place bids on auctions on your behalf. They're going to place the bids for you. You don't even have to do it yourself. They will also consolidate all your items safely into one box. They can ship internationally, of course. They provide customer service in 19 different languages, and they are trusted by over 2 million users already worldwide. Check the panel below the stream or click the link in the chat to try them out now. If you sign up with promo code Aegis, you'll get 3,000 yen off your first international shipping fee. Also, if you decide to make a purchase on Zen Market, use code Aegis25, AEGIS25 to get an additional 25% off your first purchase. Big thank you to Zen Market. And then unless you had anything else, Storm, before we get into game?
No, I think that sounds fantastic. Let's get in and see who's going to be able to take this.
Right back after the break. Okay, everybody, here we go. Game number 1, I mean 2 of the night. Conduit Allegation beaters on the blue side. Aegis Esports Voidwalkers on red. Conduit taking the win in that game number 1. So there's a little bit of a visual error there on the scoreboard. I believe that was Conduit who have that game 1 victory and not Andromeda. So hopefully we'll be able to get that switched up for you as well. Looks like we do have our junglers both starting on the top side of the map, Storm.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Action's definitely going to be towards bot lane. There's no point ganking Malphite. Um, and there's no real point in ganking for Zahen. You don't really have the CC to lock down anyone. And I don't think it's worth trying to path away from your bot lane when you've drafted so many resources down there. And see Smoke going for this Qmax build as the Thorn's Ring, the Comet, the Scorch, everything like that. Just going to be trying to proc Manifold Land over and over again.
Yeah. I am really excited to see Midnight in action here on this Orianna. You know, is kind of the main player that I'm keeping my eye on the side of Conduit here. In that 0-2 that they did have last week in game 2, it was a very prolonged game. And in that loss, Midnight was on the way. It was 10-7 and 8, so still a pretty decent performance, even in the loss. Obviously, we saw Flame was really popping off in that previous game alongside Sourcewalker. So the whole top side of Conduit, looking forward to see what they're going to be able to accomplish here in this one.
Yeah, but we can see already that Smoke's not really respecting Flame as much as he should be, not playing around the passive shield timings that makes Malphite so strong. Gets pulled in there.
Yeah,
oh, he's taking so much damage. He's going to have to TP after this wave crashes, I think, on the bounce back. It is
getting pretty dangerous up there for Smoke, for sure. Should, I think, be able to pick up this wave. The Zahen really doesn't have that much damage early on here, so he's not going to be able to push the Malphite entirely off the wave or anything like that. We can see it's very difficult for Smoke to actually get these last hits, so we are going to have, I think, a little bit of a lead opening up for the Zahen up there towards the top side. Junglers soon going to be finishing up their first clears. Looks like, oh, Dashing finds the knock up there. Yeah, definitely pretty dangerous for Smoke. But it looks like the bot lane pretty even right now. But Colt may be first into the river. That could be the difference in terms of this bot side crab.
Yeah, it looks like we have both junglers just finishing this, and there is trading going on here in the top lane as well. Oh, Smoke, that was a really, really risky Q. I think he's dead. He got flashed on. Oh, he survived.
Trade of flashes between the top laners. Very close call indeed. You can see Colt is going to be able to get this bot crab not contested by Sourcewalker, and now the Xin Zhao going to look to potentially get the double crab to start off this game. Again, Andromeda really looking to see if they can get themselves an early lead. Feels pretty necessary with, given these compositions. BR, almost finding the hook there on Tapanda, but not quite. Now tethered up by the Karma. A little bit of a trade back from the Corki, but honestly, this Corki Karma lane, not doing too much so far. Sourcewalker jumping forward, looking for the counter-strike, the flash away for Zolao. Didn't quite see who got the crab there, but Sourcewalker continuing to push forward. It's Flame on the earlier rotation, but Malphite's coming as well. Sourcewalker going so deep, looking for this, has to flash away. Does survive, flashing forward as Midnight can't quite get the damage out with that last auto, and the knock-up from Colt keeps the Orianna underneath the tower. And it's going to be first blood over to Andromeda. Flame looking to keep this fight going, but Smoke is full HP. Dashing back in is the Xin Zhao, and he will destroy the Darkin for now. 2-0 on the board, Voidwalkers.
Yeah, we definitely became lightning there. That is a huge pickup for Andromeda, being able to get those kills. And it was so close. We saw Midnight having the thoughts. You had the clockwork wind up stacked up. You had the damage. And it was so close to being able to take down Zola, but they survived by the skin of their teeth. And that's a huge win for them, and they need to keep this momentum going. The scuttle did go over to Sourcewalker there, so there was that small win that you junglers can talk about. You got the smite fight. That means obviously we can 50-50 every objective, and I'll just outsmite this guy. I've shown I can do it already.
Yeah, smite gap for the whole game. It's over. That's how it works.
Yeah.
We'll see as the game progresses. It is still a relatively even game so far. 1,000 is certainly not nothing. It's fairly significant early on here. And, it's one of those kills that go over to the Malphite, though. It's not amazing, but he does already have the Bramble Vest now, so should be a little bit more comfortable now in that lane against the Zahen.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of don't like poke Malphite when you're playing against other melee tanks and stuff like that, but I'll hold on a second here.
For the flashless Orianna, Midnight in trouble. The knockup is going to be there, and the execution is perfect from Zolao. Akali now going to pick up her first of the game, and Andromeda overall on a spree.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I'm really glad we're seeing these repeat ganks coming out from Colt, being able to get this Akali further and further ahead. And that's what you got to do. You got to pick on the people without the flash. You can look after this clear towards this bot lane dragon, maybe, and see if you can bail your bot lane out, because they are getting pushed in here. Joss doing a really good job on this Sivir.
Yeah, Sivir wave clear proving very difficult for Panda and Six Dogs to handle down there. The Corky Karma laning power not really coming through just yet. See, Source Walker's in the area. There is Panda with a little bit of a Valk forward. Lantern's going to be there from BR to get the Sivir away from that one. And they spot out the Jax recalling in the bush. We'll be able to cancel that one.
I'm also really interested to see that Jost here started with a BF sword, right? Isn't going towards that kind of Essence Reaver that you almost always see.
Smoke on the roam.
Here comes Smoke.
Top Force finds it onto Midnight, who still doesn't have flash, and even Colt is here as well for good measure. The shockwave is pretty nice, but not nice enough, and that is going to be 2 kills now on the Akali, who already has the Dark Seal in inventory.
Oh, do you think we're going to get a book? I hope we get a book. I'm a big reader fan.
Yeah, sure.
So,
I mean, you and me both, Storm, but it's bit early still. We'll see if we can get some more stacks on that sucker. Got 1 minute out still on the grubs. Smoke gonna be able to come back into the top lane in time to pick up this minion wave. Dragon's still alive. Neither jungler really too interested in that one at the moment. BR, a little bit of a roam here in the mid lane. Gonna find a flay and a hook onto the Akali, but Midnight doesn't have ult.
Is he gonna
right
just die now?
It's so fed. He's already so fed.
Oh,
The flash into the death for BR. The Counter-Strike does get the stun. Zolao hiding in the smoke, and Colt is here. A beautiful ultimate from the Jin Zhao. Pushes away Source Walker and gets his mid laner out to safety. 3-0 now on the Akali. 8 minutes into the game, and
the dive
tries to flash, but the tether is
the barrier.
And Six Dogs with the aggro. It is going to be a trade back. Oh, actually, the double kill over to Joss. The barrier, you called it out, buying just enough time for the Sivir to force that extra turret shot, and that is not a bad trade for Jost.
Yeah, looks like we're going towards what everyone built last season. On first item there as well on Sivir. This is really interesting. I almost always see like Essence Reaver built first item on this champion nowadays, but a little bit of a different build. Always interesting to see what innovations kind of come out as patches change and things like that. But Andromeda still looking for these roams, seeing if they can get some sort of shutdown. BR is coming back here in mid.
Six Dogs is here as well. Rub's going to be secured by Conduit. They did get all 3 of those. With the notification going over, Colt now is going to be moving towards the Dragon. Does, for now at least, finally have some bot priority to work with, so should be able to lock that one away for Andromeda.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any sort of contest. I think Conduit is happy to have taken this trade. They got their grubs, they got Jax clear and fully down. He has a lot of farm to catch up on, so there's no way that they were going to go for their fight there. But, I think you're pretty happy for that for Andromeda too, right? You got an early Infernal Drake that's going to give your team some much needed damage kind of towards mid and late game. And we'll see. It's a Mountain Dragon next, so 2 kind of premier souls are gone. Hopefully it's not going to be a stinker and we're going to get a Chemtech or anything like that, or you're hoping not if you're an Andromeda fan, I guess.
What soul are you hoping for, Storm?
I'm a big Cloud Soul fan. That's the soul I always kind of want to see.
Okay, Atlas.
It just feels so good. Especially like the ability to rotate on the map, I think is also so big with it. Like it's not like the most powerful like map change, but it's
hook
so
onto
big.
Zolao. A little bit of follow up as Source Walker moving in. Zolao dashing back over the wall, has the Shroud as well. R2 available, goes back in onto Source Walker. The Jack pops the Counter-Strike, but still might be slated to go down here, and he will. Colt takes the kill, and now Smokey and Top Force underneath the tower they go. Onto Midnight, who did get the flashback, and Smoke gives over a shutdown to the Orianna. Not ideal there. Now, Colt has to be a little bit careful. BR and Midnight will be left alone underneath their towers. Moving in. Replay of Zolao dashing back over the wall, has the Shroud.
Okay.
Never mind. No replay.
Yep. That's fine. This is also so huge for Flight. Look at this. He's opening up a 20 CS lead almost in the top lane. Got 2 turret plates there. Had those grubs as well to facilitate that. And yeah, Smoke just cooking, taking just a couple of extra, 1 extra turret shot there. Really getting that extra penetration, and I think this might be a little rough for him now. That's going to be a big thing. Here's Source Walker as well to punish.
Does have flash, might have to burn it here. Dashing forward, they find another knock up. Smoke will indeed have to flash away from the Grim Deliverance. So now Flame is going to have that flash advantage already on top of the big CS lead that you were just highlighting. And we hadn't really mentioned it just yet, but I do feel like if we had been able to watch that first game, Flame probably would have been awarded the POG, I have to imagine.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like from his performance that he put out there. And I want to call out this. I think that's a Gunblade coming out for Zola here after this Hextech alternator has been built.
Oh, and this tether onto Jost here. His Thresh has already completed the recall. Going to be a lot of damage onto this Sivir, who's trying to trade back, actually standing and fighting. Again, another auto attacks come out, and the AD carries trade each other off the board.
Yeah, I mean, sick call from Jost, just knowing, oh, I have the damage here to kill this guy, even through barrier. Really showcasing his knowledge there. But there's the Yuntal done for him as well before Corki is able to get to his Trinity Force and start that. So we're going to have that stacking and giving them more and more late game insurance for the side of Conduit as well.
Yeah, I think Jost actually already had that Yuntal done for the 1v2. It's probably why
did he
managed to come out on top. I'm pretty sure, yeah. We do have our next dragon coming up in 90 seconds. I feel like it's pretty important for Andromeda to get this next one as well. I'd like to see some snappy stacking coming out from the Voidwalkers. See if they can manage it.
Definitely, I think this is a dragon that they need to fight for and be looking to play for. But we do see a roam up here onto Smoke from Ori. Midnight looking for something.
This wave in a really horrible spot for Smoke. He does have the unstoppable force back. I imagine, yep, that is going to come out for the Malphite to survive. So, yeah, small win there for Conduit. And it looks like Orianna will be back to pick up this wave in mid.
Yeah, and there's a chance that Zola's going to go
flash going to connect onto Zolao. The shockwave coming through as well. The Orianna with the perfect execution and the flash away. Everything going to have to be burned here for Zolao, who will survive. So a couple of ultimates there, as that was the shockwave, as well as flash and ult from BR's Thresh. Traded for flash ult of the Akali.
And Sourcewalker flash there as well, trying to get the counter-strike down as well, trying to get that stun. And Zolao just being able to use that second part of the ult there and just be able to get out. That's a pretty big win. Has their Gunblade done as well? Has the mid lane quest with those Source Books upgraded too? It's a pretty big spike for Zolao. I'm hoping they're really going to be able to pick off Jaws here. I think that's their target.
So this is a little bit unfortunate, I think, because Colt is on the top side of the map right now with the dragon spawning nowhere near this objective right now. Six Dogs is going to be able to get a little bit of information for the team. I think the Karma did spot out that this is happening now for Conduit, but I don't think Andromeda are actually going to be able to do anything about this. Jungler's just not here.
Yeah. Wondering what they're going to get instead. Just going to be the kind of topside camps here. It looks like there's no dive potential in top healing here. Level 11 already for Flame.
Yeah, but, pretty scary again.
Yeah.
Force done. Smoke pretty healthy, though. Going to be able to get this wave fully pushed in, it looks like, is the Malphite. Midnight and Zolao going at it down here as the Akali again. It's very, very strong with the Gunblade completion. We do have Rod of Ages done for Midnight, but it's obviously going to take a little bit longer before the Orianna is feeling quite as powerful.
Yeah, and I think this is the time that I think you just don't be a coward. Upgrade it into the book, man. You're going to be the main character. You have 5 stacks. That means it's worth it too. That's the magic number.
Fair enough. Yeah, we'll see if he goes towards it. I mean, it would obviously pretty significantly delay the second item completion for the Akali, so it definitely would be a risk, but I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, and I'm sad to say, everyone, it is Chemtech Soul. The Plant Gang must rise up, but pretty worthless Soul.
Oh, Colt and Six Dogs, a little bit of a deep exploration. Shockwave going to connect onto both of them as the Karma chunked down pretty low, but Yeah, not too much of a minion wave here to work with anyway. I don't know if Andromeda... hooking land onto the Corki after the Valk. Panda tries to flash away, but Jost with the damage picks up the turret aggro there, unfortunately. So not going to be able to fully commit for the dive. Smoke pulled back. Does have ult and flash, so I don't think anything's really going to happen in this top lane. Is Zolao just playing around with the mobility of the Akali there.
Yep, just making sure to shoot those lightning bolts. Get the gat shots into Midnight as much as possible there.
Flame putting on the pressure up here. Smoke is definitely gonna have to be careful, but I don't think the Zahen can actually look for a dive. You know, you risk just getting ulted and CC'd once you pick up the turret aggro. So playing on the edge, Midnight underneath the tower is Zolao. Perfect execution, finds the kill. The Akali on a rampage. Now Flame could be in trouble in the top lane. Does go for the Grim Deliverance, but he can't get the stacks up for the revive as we briefly look at the mid lane for some reason as Flame flashes away and survives. BR there for the save, and now in comes Sourcewalker as well. Where is the counter strike? It must be under that. There it is, and that is going to force the flash away for Colt. Nice reinforcement there from jungle support of Conduit to keep Flame on his feet.
Yeah, it looks like Flame also had to burn his flash there to get out of the Smoke's ult there on the Malphite, so didn't have that. I thought for sure he was going to be going down, but it's such a timely Lantern giving that shield over to Flame. Huge props to him, and that might lead into this Rift Herald as well. You can see Jax is on it right now.
He's kind of getting pinched right now, though. See the Malphite coming out from the top lane and the Karma moving into the river as well. He is going to be able to secure the objective and picks up the eye, but he's going down so low and he just gets clobbered by Smoke, who does take the kill. And now Zolao into the mid lane. Oh, he only finds the shortcut onto his Shroud, and BR is going to manage to flash away. The tether is not going to work as Jost is too fast. Runs away from that one. So no further casualties for Conduit, but definitely Andromeda in force here in the mid lane, going to be able to take this tier 1 in response to that Herald going over.
Yeah, pretty big win from them. Gives them so much more map control and the ability to kind of unlock Zola even more. Look at this amount of room now they have to play in bot lane, especially with these upgraded Spires Blooms that you can see that Colt just hit. That means he knows that he could like have even gone for something towards that bot lane if he wanted to and faded towards those Krugs or something like that. But we see Flame here has cracked this first tower in the top lane. Imagine that he's probably going to maybe want to rotate down in a minute's time here so that he can be on the bot side and look to pressure that tower into this dragon. But we'll see what Andromeda decide to counter with.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what the plan for Sourcewalker is with this Rift Herald. You know, you mentioned the Dragon coming up pretty soon. That mid-tier 1 is already just kind of hanging on by a thread. The Herald feels like it would kind of be overkill to use for that, but I mean, it would guarantee you the mid-priority for the Dragon spawn, which might be worthwhile as Zolao working in the jungle. And a little bit of chip damage onto BR. The Thresh probably the right person to face check that one.
Why is my Malphite building MR? Why do we have Null Magic Mantle and a Negatron Cloak? That's the wrong resistance type, Smoke.
Yeah, the Orianna is quite far behind, so pretty surprising that he would be going towards the magic resistance here. But we'll see, as the Herald is going to be utilized to take that mid-tier 1. So mid-priority temporarily at least gained for the side of Conduit as they clear out this minion wave with the help of Jost. But of course, Andromeda here as well. There's going to be a hook landing. Smoke finding a stop of force only onto the Orianna. The team reluctant to follow up right away. Here comes Flame on the flank angle. We'll look for the Grim Deliverance onto 2. So much damage onto the Corki. His Panda is in trouble. He's trying to cut away, but he's not going towards his team. The Shockwave comes up, and Zolao dodges away from it and finishes off the Orianna. Double kill for the mid laner of Andromeda. They have lost their AD carry, though, and Flame is really scary on the Zahen. Pulls back Smoke. Some low health bars. The Flame is going to have to revive as well, but he doesn't have any teammates left to fight with him. He gets the health bar back, but the Akali does so much damage. The Lantern comes down. The Akali follows and gets the kill. It's actually the pizza wheel from downtown. Smoke gonna claim that kill onto the Zahen. It's gonna be 4 for 1 in the mid lane. Andromeda take a huge lead.
And he's at 10 stacks. This should have been a book. You would have had even more. Come on, Zola. You know it's time. Please build it. Please. I'm begging you.
I mean, he did have the Shadow Flame done for that fight, which obviously did help out quite a bit as well. So, I'm sure he'll build it next storm. I'm sure it's...
we built a needlessly. Oh,
Yeah, I wonder what like the actual gold value is on the Medjai's completion as opposed to the needlessly. I mean, it's probably like pretty close, isn't it?
I know once you have 5 stacks, it's technically worth it to build like just raw AP value.
Right.
It's worth it money wise. I'm sure at 10 it must be probably pretty close there.
Yeah, I mean, hard to say. I wonder what that other needlessly is. It's either a Zhonya's or a death cap, right? Solao gonna get jumped on by Flame. Goes into the crowd, doing such a ridiculous amount of damage to the R2, almost enough by itself.
And the heal?
5-point strike should be there. Can't find a shuriken flip, but Panda is here. Flashes forward for the last auto attack. Now Zolao gonna look to do some alcove gaming, dodges away, gets a shield from the Thresh. It's a double kill over to Panda. Finally, it's gonna be just able to trade one back. It's a big shutdown.
But Ori's TPing.
There's gonna be some stacks taken off as Sourcewalker jumping forward onto Panda, who did still have the Valkyrie to kite away from that one. Now Sourcewalker could be the one in trouble as teleport in for smoke as well as shockwave. Amazing. On to 3. It's going to be Midnight who takes down the Corki. But now in a 1v2, I don't think the Orianna is going to be able to make this one go. Double kill over to Colt, and it's yet another team fight win for Andromeda Voidwalkers.
Yeah, but they let some pretty big shutdowns go over with that one. Can see, but there's just such a huge gold lead here now in the mid lane. Zola is just so ahead, but a lot of gold coming back for the side of Jost is catching up to Punda and is even ahead of him in gold lead here.
Very true.
I'm shocked to see that as a Hen and Malphite are staying like amount of gold. It felt like there was such a huge lead there for Flame, but I guess having 10 kills as opposed to 2 is a lot of gold back.
10 kill participation.
Yeah.
3 kills, 7 assists. Yeah, definitely helping out Smoke quite a bit there.
Oh my god.
Flame is just going to get assassinated. It looks like tries to flash away.
He flashed.
And the Grim Deliverance is going to come out now. Flame going to look for the revive. Should be able to find it. No, he doesn't. Solao. The burst is too much, and the Akali claims another scalp. Sourcewalker not able to catch up to that sneaky assassin. Just going to be another solo kill for the mid laner.
Yeah, that's a Baron start as well, because we saw Jax in the bot lane trying to chase after and be able to secure that kill. And we have Malphite ults coming up in like 15 seconds, I would want to say, to turn off of this.
Oh, here comes Sourcewalker. The Baron still at 50% health. Teleport in for the Akali. Crescent Guard, pretty nice, but also pretty early, as they're going to have to look for the turn here. You have to imagine as Crescent Guard is worn off now, but they do take the Scuttle Crab. Baron has reset. And Flame is respawning now with teleport, so Andromeda not going to be able to go for another look. They just have to reset themselves.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty big win for Conduit there. Not losing anything off of that play is a huge amount for them. I mean, I just wonder if they just should have waited out that little bit for Andromeda. I feel like it was hard to when, you got that pick and you saw, their jungler bot, that's all the obvious plays to take Baron, but without Malphite ult, they just didn't have a good way to start that off.
Yeah, that's right. It just they weren't quite able to burst it. They don't have a very fast Baron either, right? Jinja, Akali, it really does take them a while. So yeah, it was good response from Conduit, able to identify that Baron was being taken pretty quickly, moved over to contest. And Andromeda not quite able to extend their lead just yet, but they are in a very comfortable position right now. 6k ahead, 1 dragon ahead as well. Next one spawning in about 45.
Yeah, I imagine that's where everyone is going to be looking here. We can see Flame already spotted out, trying to see if they can get any sort of pick before this starts. But that's a lot of people.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a bold call from Conduit, and it is not read, I don't think, by Andromeda, or is it?
No.
They start to rotate over now. Flame in a flank position. When does the Zahen want to make his move? So I think that Andromeda are aware of his position. You can see Colt marking the Darken right now. Flame is going to look to rejoin with the rest of his team. River control now on the bottom side of the map, going to go over to Andromeda.
Look at all the pings on the Baron, though. They're willing to just flip this and trade this over.
Yeah, Conduit are really just happy to commit towards the Baron here. They're going to start it up again and force Andromeda to answer. But the Xin Zhao is actually pinging back towards the Dragon. He's hoping his team can contest the Baron without him, as that is a pretty dangerous call, as now he's changed his mind. Going back over, Zolau flashing in, immediately destroys just the Shockwave. Not enough to keep the Sivir alive, and Zolau just winning that fight before it even started. Sourcewalker is going to be able to smite away the Baron, so that is something for Conduit. But how many Baron buffs are actually going to be making it out here? Flame in a tough spot, dashes back over the wall, but Colt is going to be able to follow the Zahen. He has the Grim Deliverance, and he is going to get the revive, but he has no friends in the area once again here. The Zahen looking like he is going to be going down. The knock up into the kill. Zolau on another rampage, and Andromeda have taken 4 of 5 Baron buffs off the map, and they will go up to Soul Point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're denying it away as well as kind of maybe the thought here when you're trying to do this play, but that's not worth it in the end. Is going to be a loss of tempo and things like that, and we still haven't upgraded our book. I'm so sad. But Sourcewalker maybe gets picked here.
Dog's gonna have to flash away from that Jax. So Karma just a little bit isolated in the enemy jungle there. Is a little bit of a misposition. Is going to have to burn the summoner, but we'll be all right.
Oh, wait, we did upgrade to... We do have it. It's a book.
There it is. Very well read here is Zolau.
Yeah.
Just took him a little bit of time to build up the collection, to stock the library, but he's got it now.
Yeah, had to read through War and Peace there. Had to build it of a weight.
Yep. Just took him a little while. But he got through it, and now he does have that extra studious angle from the mid lane, as at least that is going to be a tier 1 turret in the bot lane claimed by Conduit, so they're still able to get, a little bit of an objective bounty for themselves there. Zolau pushes down top, level 16 on this Akali. He is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, does he not, like... Okay, there's Sourcewalker here. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure he kills, Flame.
Just playing with him. Goes into the Shroud. Teleport coming out from Smokes. Top lane are going to be reinforcing. The minion wave is cleared out. But,
but they Malphite to tank it.
Playing so aggressively here. Now the Malphite does have turret aggro, so Smoke's gonna have to burn the ultimate in retreat. The turret does get taken as Flame looking to go forward, as there's the Shockwave only onto the Xin Zhao. Flame continuing to charge forward. That's gonna be the flash out from Colt. Smoke in trouble. Zolau going back in. He's into the Shroud, but the Akali in so much trouble right now. Goes golden, but there's nobody who can save him. He does get one more on his way out, but that is a big shutdown over to just Sivir. Exactly where Conduit want that gold, and a little bit of an overstep for Andromeda in the top lane.
Yeah, it's just they didn't commit. I feel like that was just a thing of if Smoked had to just press R and just called, go forward, fight, kill these guys, that was a winning play for them. But instead, just everyone going back forward, and forth. Punda might be able to pull them up.
Is going to get taken down. The Valk
forward.
Punda, Midnight potentially in trouble here, but it's going to be Jost who gets taken down, and now it's only the Orianna still left standing. A Conduit biting off a little bit more than they could chew with that one.
Yeah, over chasing, trying to get some more of these kills over to themselves and things like that. They did have those bounties, so it was that thing of if you could get these kills and pick up something, that'll really reset this gold lead here. But instead, that's going to be their inhib tower following here. And that's really opening the map up. Any more fights that they lose, that's going to be a win here for Andromeda.
Yeah, the Voidwalkers closing in on a game 2 victory. Eventually push us to that game number 3. Just as a reminder, again, the Voidwalkers really wanting to get the match win tonight to guarantee themselves playoffs. But Conduit not entirely out of this game just yet. The Sivir does now have 4 items completed, plus the additional BF sword. And Midnight's Orianna, despite falling so far behind, his counterpart is very close to that 3rd item completion as well.
Yeah, we just need to be able to see if Sourcewalker can continue to scale and is able to keep farming and be able to keep getting jungle CS. Jack's just one of those champions who needs items so desperately, who scales so incredibly well, has really weak base stats as a response. So needs to be able to keep the CS up. We can see that Andromeda had taken most of his bot side camps now, but he's going to go forward on here onto Colt.
Yeah, Colt a little bit caught out in the jungle, but does have a Mega Blast Cone to disengage from the Jax. Zolau just getting a little bit of a push going in top lane right now. You can see just canceled the recall. Going to push in another wave while Conduit take control of the mid lane. It's going to be a blast going back in for Colt, but he gets hit by the death sentence. The Crescent Guard comes out, but he's almost already dead. Oh, that's Flame going and Sourcewalker going pretty far forward. As, yeah, the Lantern is going to be there for the Sivir to get Dross back out to safety, as Colt lucky to be alive. But
here's a TP, though, coming in from Zola. This is pretty deep.
Yeah, deep.
I don't know if they saw it.
See if Zolau can actually cut off the retreat. Drost is half HP right now on the Sivir. Flame coming in from the top lane as well. Blast Cone there. Get everybody into a safer position. And Andromeda not going to be able to pick anybody off.
Yeah, and it's 30 seconds now till Soul spawns, and there's going to be full vision control here for Andromeda. They're making sure they set this up and that there's going to be no way someone can face check this.
And Midnight wasn't quite able to get to his third item. So that Orianna's still just on 2.5. And Zolau set to be the difference maker here in what could be the critical team fight that could decide this game. You can see Andromeda with control over the jungle, just waiting for Conduit to try to enter. Controller goes down in the line brush, cleared out immediately by the Allegation beaters.
Yeah, they're making sure to step in through mid. That's the smart way.
Position. Flame going into the pit, trying to get some access for his own junglers. They're looking for the fight. They finish off the Karma immediately. So the Dragon is taken by a Colt. That is going to be Chemtech Soul secured for Andromeda. They finish off Flame as well as Zolau. Still alive. Jumped on by Sourcewalker. Beautiful stasis from the Akali. And now in comes Punda with the Valk forward. Help them to finish off these kills. And that should do it. BR going to be the last to fall. And Andromeda Voidwalkers move toward the Baron to complement their soul. Or perhaps they could look for the end.
Yeah, they got 30 seconds. That's probably enough time to end this game. It's going to be close, though. I'm pretty sure Sivir will be up towards these Nexus turrets following the mid. Their wave is pretty far away, but Smoke can start tanking this first. He is Malphite.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty healthy HP bar to work with. Now the minion wave is here, still 10 seconds on the Sivir, and I think it is over. Andromeda Voidwalkers. About 33 minutes on the game clock, and they will take a victory in game number 2 and push us to a decider.
Yeah, even getting that kill there at the end, a pretty big bounce back from them. Getting over that kill a minute, and I think I have a pretty clear POG of that game. Do you not, crewman?
Yeah, he did have like maybe 1 or 2 overly aggressive moments. But Zolau was just so impossible for Conduit to deal with in that game. Got incredibly fed on the Akali, and he made sure his opponents felt it.
Yeah, was just playing on the edge the way every assassin wants to be played. Huge shout out to Zola there. I think they had an amazing Akali game. And Xin Colt there, though, had a great supporting role. They definitely did a ton of work as well. Had some great Crescent Guards even to like save Zolau, right? And we saw that in the mid game. Huge shout out on the Malphite as well. You know, it wasn't a fantastic Malphite game, but we pressed R on people. We got a couple of 2 and 3 man knockups. So good job, Smoke.
Yeah. Good stuff. You can see a 0 in the deaths column there for Colt, which is obviously fantastic. Amazing game for Punda as well. 12, 4, and 7 on the Corki. Definitely did a lot of work also from the 80 carry position. But yeah, Zolau topping out the damage charts. 44.5K in a 33-minute game. Pretty impressive for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have very much else to say on this one. I'm just hoping that we'll be able to get into the spectate for game 3 pretty soon here. I think we'll just throw it to a quick break while we wait for that to happen. And we'll see who takes what side and what's going to happen in this decider.
Yeah. All right, everybody, welcome back. Jumping straight into our Game 3 Champ Select here, Storm. Looks like a Conduit are going to choose to stay on the blue side. It was, Andromeda kind of sticking to their guns in that game number 2, drafting the Prio bot lane, an aggressive pick for Zolau in mid, and that time they made it work. So let's see what Game 3 has in store for us. It's 6 jungle bans. 6 jungle bans to start out.
Yeah, and we're not even going to take a jungler on B1 after 6 jungle bans? That's crazy to me. The Aurora getting taken?
Is it really time for the Ambessa?
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely one of the pro picks that's kind of left, right? In terms of jungle. You can always go towards like the tank junglers. There's lots of those available, like Sejuani's here. Maokai,
like, Amumu.
Yeah, a lot of kind of weird stuff is available as well. If people want to get crazy, you can go for the Zed jungle, and the Fury for the assassins are available. Chase jungle.
Not the jangle. Sure. Anything but that. As Victor is going to be the response into the Aurora. So, should have enough range to have a pretty comfortable lane phase against the Bunny Rabbit.
Yeah,
and surely this is a jungle pick for Cold, right? Surely.
Yeah, you would think so, right? There's a lot.
Oh my goodness.
It's Misfortune instead.
So with the Jarvan taken off the table, I'm really now looking at this Amumu as being like the premier jungle option to pair up with this Victor Misfortune. I feel like that would go very, very hard. See if Conduit would want to like take that away. Honestly, the Maokai would also be pretty decent. So maybe Conduit are just thinking, like, let's just take a bot lane that can contest the Misfortune, maybe. They've been pretty content to go for the scaling side of things so far tonight, and they're going to go for the team fighting power of the Alistar in the support position.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one to me as well here. I mean, it's really hard to... You want something... Whenever someone early shows Misfortune, you just take something that can stop her all, right? You just take something that has a long-range ability to stop him at fault. Like, that was kind of a classic thing with Trundle Pillar, right? Like the Trundle support thing.
Ooh.
But it's going to be Smolder really making sure to try and lock down this late game pick. Smolder Alistar sounds like a diabolical lane. Like, that sounds so terrible. And you have MF on the other side.
I think we're going late, Storm.
Okay.
A lot of scaling champions here.
Yeah.
The Ornn is going to give Andromeda some nice structure for their team fight. Quick note on the Smolder. This was actually something that Conduit played against last week.
Yeah.
It was game number 2 against Flash Syndicate. It was they were playing against, I believe it was Lean on the Smolder. And Smolder in that game did 72,500 damage in 40 minutes. So Conduit thinking, well, that looked pretty good. Let's try that ourselves. And they have now locked it away.
That's an interesting ban, taking the Rumble out when you have already locked Ornn in. I
guess Rumble could just like farm first strike gold off the Ornn probably, right? So
I guess, yeah. I feel like there's like other things that you maybe want to get out, like some sort of bruiser picks here that can stack up on the Ornn here. Gwen, I think that's another solid one.
Yeah, solid ban there, I think, for sure. And probably another support pick taken away by Conduit, or maybe they are also concerned about the Amumu that I was talking about earlier. They're going to go for the Trundle ban, it looks like.
Yeah.
So that would also be some setup for the bullet time.
Yeah, and you can also cancel Ornn Pillar as well, right? Like, sorry, you can cancel Ornn ult with E. It's like Trundle E. That's the thing you can do.
They would be banning it away from themselves in that case.
Yes. That's true, actually. I think that was... Never mind. I feel like that was a great pick for Conduit.
Yeah, could have been, potentially. But Andromeda now with R4, likely going to be a jungler. It looks like they will probably be saving. I mean, you see Alistar, though. So, yeah, going support here does make some sense, and they're going to take the Braum. So some additional disengage. They are very reliant on the Ornn ultimate so far for the side of Andromeda for their actual engage.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried. I feel like is this I mean, you can't even take Silas here, right? There's nowhere you can put him, and it would just make your front line so low.
Silas jungle could be a thing.
Yeah. I just think it makes your front line too weak into this MF and Ornn and things like that, and the Victor. But Camille gonna get locked here. That's a definite side lane win condition if I've ever seen one from Conduit. They need something now that's just going to be like to kind of get these lanes through it, because their early game lanes are not good so far, right? There's not a lot of winning things here. I want to see something that can get some pre-6 ganks off here. Maokai, that's currently getting covered, I think would be okay for that, but not really what I'm wanting. It is going to be the Maokai locked in.
It's definitely some extra front line, right, which you were calling for. So can provide that for him at least. Both sides, honestly, with so much disengage here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this game has a potential to really stall out, until we get towards those later stages. Could be in for the long haul here, Storm. Let's see what the R5 option is going to be in the jungle for Colt. What is he going to take into the Maokai? It is just going to be the Ambessa that we've kind of been waiting to appear all night long. And it is finally going to come out here as the last pick in Game 3.
Does Ambessa not feel really, really hard to play into this Conduit team? Like, you're never comboing onto someone. Like, I guess you have all the follow-up CC to, like, get your public execution off on the Smolder to try and lock him down. But I just feel like it's so hard to like team fight into Alistar and Maokai and all these like abilities to just like make it so hard for you to actually be able to like chain your dashes off together. Can even get stuck in the baby cage by Camille. I don't think this was a good counter pick, like round 5 pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you, Storm. I do feel like the Ambessa is going to be pretty tricky to pull off here. Is Ambessa generally like pretty strong early? I mean, obviously you have a favorable matchup into the Maokai in the 1v1, but I don't know if Maokai is necessarily going to be opting into any 1v1s. Probably not. Maybe like that's the thought process. If the Ambessa is going to give you like a little bit of early game that you need as Andromeda, kind of get you to that point where the Victor and the Ornn are coming online and the team fighting power just becomes so immense.
Yeah. I guess that's maybe the thing of like you needed like some sort of fast clear so that you could get some sort of like positioning advantages and things like that, and front line, which is kind of hard to get when the the Mundo and things like that are gone. But I don't know. I feel like they might have needed something that can help them, because they are pretty much completely reliant on Ornn to start fights. And I don't know how much he's going to be able to stick around in fights. I feel like he is going to be getting dragged against this Camille in the side lane. And I don't know what Andromeda is going to do if that's the case, of how they're going to start fights.
Yeah, they're reliant on the substitute, right? Smoke in the top lane for the Voidwalkers on primary engage this game. We'll see how it goes. I mean, he definitely did have a pretty solid performance last game on the Malphite. So, after the game 1 struggling on the Mordekaiser, it definitely feels like that was a conscious choice from the Voidwalkers to just, all right, Smoke, you're subbing in. We're just going to put you on tanks. You're going to be the front line for us tonight. And, the Ornn definitely a premier frontline champion. So we'll see how he's going to be able to pilot it. And just so much scaling on both sides. It really, it is a little bit of a different direction, this game for the Voidwalkers. We've seen them in both of the previous games kind of trying to pilot these high tempo, more aggressive mid-game compositions, but they've really just decided here for game number 3, we're just going to match the scaling, and we are actually going to just be playing for team fights. So it'll be cool if they do manage to get the win here in game 3, able to get wins with a couple of different styles of composition. That could be really good, looking forward towards playoffs. Makes you a little bit less readable, a little bit tougher to plan against, right? If you are able to showcase those different styles. So we'll see how it looks for them. But yeah, the Camille definitely looking pretty threatening, and the Smolder as well. If we end up going late, that Smolder could end up being the difference. What's your prediction for game 3, Storm? How do you think it's all going to go down?
I think this game is going to be a top div. I think Flame and Conduit's going to win this. I think this Camille pick is going to absolutely fry this game. Playing this matchup into Ord feels so difficult because you can't land like your combos. You can't land the E knockups because Camille can just punt herself off of your little turret with the Q all the time. So I think this is going to be such a good game for the side of the Conduit. They're going to be able to get such high tempo from their top laner, and I think they're going to win this one.
Yeah, I mean, predicting a repeat of what happened in game number 1, it sounds like Storm.
Yeah.
That's how it went down. As Flame just took over in the top lane, was the biggest difference maker on his Olaf. See if he can do it again on the Camille. Conduit Allegation beaters looking to pick up a win as they move in towards that qualification stage. Andromeda Esports Voidwalkers wanting to get the win here in game 3 to secure themselves 3rd place and guarantee playoffs. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with the last game of the night. right, everybody, welcome back onto the Rift for the last time tonight. Conduit, Allegation beaters on the blue side once again. Andromeda, Esports, Voidwalkers on red. The Voidwalkers took game number 2 in about 33 minutes. And now they have gone for more of a scaling angle alongside Colt's Ambessa. See if they can get this one over the line, Storm.
Yeah, I think this should be a really interesting game. It's probably going to be a long one. I think we're in for the long haul here. But we'll see. There's a lot of early trading here in the mid lane. Both these mid laners really getting a lot of pressure here. As the electric we can see on the Aurora, pretty standard Victor here, going for the Summon Airy to give them better lane trades, kind of get, some of that shield bash and things like that. Almost style that we were seeing from the Grass Victor, which we all hated so much.
But don't mention the Grass Victor in flashbacks. Oh, there's a nice trade from Midnight. Gonna get that electrocute rock. It's level 2s start to come in. We do have our junglers pathing towards opposite sides this time, actually. Sourcewalker starting on the bot side. Gonna be pathing up towards his Camille. And Colt once again gonna be pathing down.
Yeah, you had mentioned that was kind of an option available for them. Definitely seeing it here. That is a sick Malphite skin. This new Mecha Malphite, I think. Or like
it's
Mecha.
an orange, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. Anyway.
Malphite was earlier. As, BR didn't go for a little bit of a headbutt. And yeah, the new skin line, it is pretty cool. I agree.
Yeah. But anyway, so passing up towards our Camille here, wondering if there's going to be any sort of early trying to trade here. Flame is going to let this wave push into his tower. It looks like isn't quite able to get the freeze here. And Smoke is going to get this ward with the Phalite, which would reveal any sort of gank opportunity that Sourcewalker has. So I imagine this is probably just going to be a scuttle into a reset here. Whereas Colt does have the option to look for something bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, BR and the Jost down there are pretty far back as well, so not too much of a gang game for the Ambessas. Oh, Death Ray going to miss. Midnight very low in this mid lane. Does get the level up, so a little bit of extra health there for the Aurora. Both mid laners still holding on to those teleports. Neither one going for their first recall quite yet. Oh, Midnight, there is the Death Ray plus the Airy proc. Aurora definitely a little bit outranged by the Victor.
Yeah, we can see that there is this bot lane priority as well. Already
flash forward for Zolau, and the flash away for Midnight. Goes across the veil and will barely survive. And the junglers will trade off Scuttle Crabs, and now Sourcewalker thinking about
no way you dive
towards this top lane, but no, surely not. Yeah, the Ornn is still relatively healthy. The Maokai will just complete a slightly later recall.
Yeah, I think that was just a case of being here to cover this push out here for Flame, just making sure he didn't get ganked here. Should just take his reset here.
Yeah, it makes sense for the Camille to take this opportunity to go back to base. I will mention really quickly, Storm, I am a little bit light on pixels right now. Are you having that as well, or is that just me?
No, I think you might just need to refresh it. The stream actually looks fantastic. We see Colt just on his second clear here as well. We can see Maokai as well on his second clear here. Didn't actually go for the Faded Ashes on Maokai. This is going to be full tank. Kindle Gem in inventory. Kindle Gem in inventory. I'm guessing this is Protoplasm or something.
Pretty surprising to go for that as a first item. The Protoplasm Harness does scale with your resistances. And so buying it first when you don't have any resistances is not the most optimal. So I'd be pretty surprised if that was the option. But a number of things do build out of the Kindle Gem. So we really just don't know quite yet. I'm thinking maybe it could be Zeke's. That's been a pretty popular item for tank junglers recently.
That's fair. Yeah, it definitely gives you that ultimate haste as well, I believe, right? Which is just so valuable on Maokai.
You just really are all about Malphite right now, aren't you?
I don't know why. It's just stuck in my head. Oh, there's a nice knockup from Smoke, but Sourcewalker is here. Was this
Flame doesn't have... Oh, it just now gets level 6 and flashes in for the ultimatum. And Smoke is still only level 5. Gonna get smashed backwards by the Brambles. And flash for Smoke. Actually, all I see what you were cooking there, actually, Smoke. But
yeah,
it was a very ambitious move, and it did not pay off for him. It was actually Sourcewalker's Maokai, though, who ended up getting the gold.
Yeah, the sapling that got placed there took Smoke out, so denying that gold away from Flame. Also, that means Colt here going to be able to get this early dragon here, Ocean Dragon, broken early game. Definitely the best dragon you can get besides Cloud Drake for the first dragon of the game. Just gives you that laning prowess and things like that. But we see that Smolder, kind of equalizing this lane pressure. There's no real big win for Punda here. And I was kind of hoping that MF was going to be able to really get something going here with this early game.
Yeah, not even really able to get too much I mean, at least it was enough priority to get them that dragon, but I mean, I saw Sourcewalker on the top side of the map, so it was kind of free anyways, but yeah, I mean, a slight CS lead over the Smolder right now. I don't think it's strictly necessary for the Misfortune to get a lead in lane. You're mostly just providing value with the ultimate for the fights later on, so nothing too much to worry about. I am wondering if it is going to be the full lethality Misfortune that has been a little bit more popular recently, or if we're going to go for more of like a traditional kind of crit build.
I'm thinking it's crit because we've gone for a call, so I feel like if you're building lethality, you just have to start rushing for that first dark as soon as possible because it's just so good at early game, right? It kind of scales that way that you want it as early as possible while resistances are so much lower as champions don't have those level ups.
I mean, you also want call as early as possible.
Yeah.
Also, though, it's Midnight does find a decent trade back there onto the Victor. Zolau definitely being the better of the Aurora for the most part. Here comes Colt. Both junglers here. Nature is going to be grasping Chaos Storm as well as Midnight trying to get to the other world, and the public execution is going to miss, but flashing over the wall as Colt finishes off the Aurora, and Sourcewalker cannot get anything done by himself. So the 2v2 in the mid lane goes the way of the Voidwalkers, and now BR could be in trouble. Cute little headbutt, though, as Colt trapped underneath the tower. There's too much CC. The Ambessa cannot get away. BR going to get the gold.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worrying is going to happen to Ambessa towards the mid game and stuff like that. If you're just going to get CC comboed into death, I don't know how she's going to play. And we can see it's like lethality Ambessa, right? That's a brutalizer in our inventory that we're going for.
BR looking for the combo, but the concussive blows stacked up means the Alistar cannot. Oh, he does eventually find the angle for the headbutt. After all, Zolau gonna get taken down by Midnight. BR limping away, flashing in his 6 dogs to finish off the Alistar. But a 1-for-1 in the mid lane that Conduit will be very happy with.
Yeah, and Braum using so much there. There's the bullet time getting channeled. Joss going to be able to step away. Isn't going to lose anything there, but that's such a huge play there from BR. Really putting this team in it. That was an incredible play to set up on the Ambessa, and then getting that kill there as well again. What a support performance so far.
I will say, I feel like he should not have been able to get that angle onto Zolau. After the Alistar was stunned up, I feel like the Victor should have been able to continue kiting back there. I'm not entirely sure. I would need another look at it. Unfortunately, I do think replays are broken for us tonight, so I don't think we will be getting that other look. But
here's another roam. Look, we're going up onto Flame.
All right,
There's the
we are very active on the map here. Smoke pretty far from the tower, doesn't have flash, is going to go for the cold. The Forge God potentially going to find a couple of knockups here, but he just doesn't have the damage. And Flame going to take down that Ornn first of the game, I believe, for the Camille.
Yeah, but here's the problem is our Smolder going to be able to continue to stack? With our Alistar
here comes the Alistar again, wrap around behind Zolau. The public execution has to be flashed by Midnight. BR not going to be able to find the pulverized. Colt dashing forward, and Midnight going to get absolutely obliterated by that Ambessa, who is now 2-1. Smolder alone underneath this. No, he does have his jungler here to defend, so he's going to be fine. Dragon in 45.
Yeah, I feel like you really got to stack this one up. There's a lot you got going for you. It's probably going to be Ambessa after finishing off these Krugs here. We'll have her first item which should be really
How much gold
big
does
there.
Ambessa have right now? Because the completion for Profane Hydra is only like 300 something. Like, it's not very much. Like, I feel like he should already have it. And going for the Krugs here is going to delay your reset. You're not going to be on time for the Dragon. We'll see if Sourcewalker is going to be able to capitalize on this at all. This Profane Hydra is now done, plus a long sword on top. It's actually 3 long swords on top. So yeah, the Ambessa is very strong. It was the Zeke's Convergence for Sourcewalker. He does have that completed as well.
Yeah. We can see the biggest thing I'm looking at. Flame has his Trinity Force done now on Camille. So this should mean that he can start getting huge chunks onto Smoke here.
There.
Yeah.
So Smoke going to be able to charge unperturbed back underneath his tower. River control definitely in favor of Andromeda. And they are going to look to start up this Dragon. So the fact that the Ambessa was slightly late didn't really end up mattering at all. And so they will be able to get the double Dragon for themselves. Smoke trying to survive underneath this tower. Flame picking up the aggro. Takes the turret shot. Has to flash. Here comes the cavalry, though. And Smoke is just going to get taken down. Nice cross map for Conduit.
Yeah, they're going to get the quest done as well onto Flame really early. I'm pretty sure that's is going to be really big for them. They probably are going to be able to get this first tower as well here.
Yeah,
that minion is doing their best to kill that Camille, though.
Right. Glacial Fish are going to come out from 6 dogs down here in the bot lane. Trading ultimate.
Oh,
Colt.
that was a public execution.
Not able to find that execution publicly, but privately we'll be able to take down Midnight. Absolutely. And teleport into the mid lane now for Flame, who launches himself over the wall, puts Colt in the ultimatum, and the Camille with the Trinity Force, not quite able to get the kill as Colt flashes away. And now Zola looking to turn this around potentially, but Sourcewalker able to cover the retreat of his top laner. Still teleport traded for flash. I think Flame not going to be too upset about this one, but is giving up a little bit of a wave in the top lane right now. You see, Smoke was able to get that pushed all the way in, but now he's going for a proxy as flashing forward towards Flame, but the Camille has the passive shield and a jungler here as well. BR coming in from base as well, and Smoke just overstepping.
Yeah.
No reason to be that far up.
You also have seen it, right? That they are playing entirely for you. Like, you are the... Flame is the win condition. Conduit has decided now. They are playing entirely for their top lane. Maybe you should just play safe. Maybe accept a dive and some losses and things like that. I mean, Colt is maybe up here to save this first tower from going down from Flame, but oh my god, this Camille is so far ahead. 1,500 gold pre-15 minutes as an individual gold lead's pretty insane.
Yeah, definitely. Really scary already. And again, we saw what Flame did. Well, I mean, we saw the aftermath of what Flame did in that game number 1.
Yeah.
And now the Nature's Grasp in the mid lane as the Aurora ultimate coming out
damage
as well.
for this?
Underneath the tower goes Sourcewalker. BR here for the follow-up CC. They just need a little bit more, but the shield comes in for the victor, and Zolau is going to survive, and Colt is here for the punish as they take down Midnight. Once again, Glacial Fisher finds the knockup on a BR, who does have his own ultimate, but it's just not going to be enough. Tries to be cute there with the flash headbutt, but it's just not going to work out. 2 kills back over to the Voidwalkers.
Oh, it's so close, but that's not where your gold lead is, and you guys aren't playing for it, right? That's just one of those things that maybe you just try and equalize on the parts of the map where you're already strong. Get some maybe gold into Jost, who is got his Essence Reaver already done. You did call it right. It is still lethality MF, despite the fact that the team is full scaling in most ways. We're still going for lethality.
Yeah, I feel like most MF players just feel like it's the stronger build right now. It does kind of make sense. I mean, as Misfortune, you're generally not auto-attacking a whole lot, and it's not like your ultimate can crit. So Flame is going to take the tier 1 in the top lane and is going to be looking to take down Smoke here again as well. As, yeah, that the Forge God can't help you that time, Smoke. Just absolutely obliterated.
MF Fault can crit.
Oh, carrots. Oh, I wasn't aware. Good to know.
Yeah, but anyway, back to the game. We see the Yobuz is done. That is going to just give you so much movement speed. We had the Berserker Greaves. That's quest kind of finishing kind of across the board now for people. We can see the mid lane quest done for Zolao as well. You know, supports having their quests done. Top laners having their quests done. Everybody's getting those finished off. There is this 2-dragon lead here for Andromeda, which I think is really, really big for them. It means that Flame isn't just going to be able to completely ignore these dragons and be able to just stick onto the side lane like he was probably hoping till he gets his 3rd item. We can see this time in inventory building towards our Ravenous Hydra here on the Camille. Flame should have that done, I'm pretty sure, by the time this next tower goes down here, but we do see Zola is being able to teleport back and definitely has enough wave clear to stymie this Camille.
Yeah, but Flame is on the bot side of the map for the dragon spawn, so clearly Conduit wanting to fight for this one. Gonna get a little bit of priority in the mid lane right now as well as they clear out some vision in this banana brush, but Andromeda also here as they get Sourcewalker tagged up with the Winter's Bite. Gonna be forced to go for the early Maokai ultimate. That is a big tool down for the Allegation beaters.
Yeah, it means that their engage is basically exclusively on BR. He's in the right
has no way out. He's just dead.
Yeah.
Oh, that is very bad for Conduit. Now this is almost certainly going to be Soul Point. Yeah, Sourcewalker's just hightailing it out of here. Just, we can't fight this anymore. Andromeda going to be going up to a very, very, very early Hex Soul Point.
Yeah, and Hex Soul is the one soul that you never, ever give away. That soul is impossible to play against when you're behind, but Flame looking like he's going to try and get the game back, making the play.
He's feeling the pressure now for sure. He does sidestep the Glacial Fissure, but the public execution is going to be there, and because of blows procced as well, he does get off the hook shot. He's trying to run. Maybe he can get to the X gate. No. Zolao takes the kill. And oh man, that feels like the light may have just gone out for Conduit. Their most strong member taken down in the side lane. They did get the Rift Herald for themselves. Bullet Time going to be there to clear out the mid wave, and Smoke is gonna teleport away. No, stopped by the Twisted in advance. Interrupted on the teleport, and Smoke is gonna get taken down again here. Again, going for the ultimate when there's really just, you're not gonna get anything done with that. He'll die eventually. Sourcewalker giving that gold over to Midnight. You love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rough game for Smoke, but you can just kind of say top diff. You're getting focused, fired, and everything, but the rest of your team is winning really, really hard. Doesn't matter that you are 0-6 currently. You're doing your job. You're absorbed the pressure.
And he's playing Ornn, right? He's always going to have value later in the game. Doesn't really matter what your score line is, as that is a little bit of an engage onto 6 dogs, who does manage to jump over the wall. Stand beside Panda. Nature's Grasp is going to come out, blocked nicely by the support, who does no longer have the W or the Unbreakable, and so he is going to get taken down. Kill for Jost Smolder. And Colt dashing around. BR going to find another nice angle onto the Ambessa, who does go unstoppable and gets back under the tower.
Can we get a Smolder count or stack check? If you could just tell us, Mr. Producer. I'm just curious here. See, 180. Okay. So still not at the 225 mark that I believe we need to start getting the. Yeah, but we need this pace because we need 225 by this next dragon fight that's going to be up in 3 minutes. So,
I mean, I think he's going to have it. He's pretty close already, as BR doesn't have, or he does have the ultimate actually. He's going to be unleashed onto the Smolder, who does have to flash. That is actually huge. That flash is not going to be back up for the soul fight. Even if he does have the stacks, going to be very vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be him finishing his Shojin and has his boots already done and stuff like that. But, it's going to be so hard for Joss to play any of these fights now.
Yeah, I mean, Conduit are going to have to be so careful about the setup. That is really, I think, what it's going to come down to is both teams are relatively light on engage, right? So if Conduit can control, is going to be going very deep into the entire team, and he's just gone. And now the combo is going to come out onto Colt. The bullet time over the top gets some good damage. In comes Midnight on the Aurora looking for the cleanup. And they may actually find it. They've already taken out Colt. Six Dogs trying to limp away from this one. BR with another combo. And it's a double kill for the Aurora. Just barely alive here. Hoping to follow up on some CC from Sourcewalker. Smoke not very threatening on this horn. I think they should be able to chase him down eventually. Another W maybe for the Maokai. There it is. And Smoke, briefly CC immune, and then he's permanently CC immune for about 35 seconds. Teleport back in for the victor. But the headbutt from BR, and Sourcewalker takes him down. Teleport into death for Zolau. And all of a sudden, it's 13-10. Conduit have taken the lead.
Yeah, I mean, the int into the int back, that was huge. I mean, I can't call it, but like
int, the counter int, if you will.
Yeah, the counter int, that was I could see what Flame was doing. He didn't have vision on anyone, so when he went in for that hook shot, that was like an opportunity to get a shutdown onto that Victor and get some like big gold for himself. But at the same time, like there was a reason that Victor was recalling in mid lane there. He had his whole team there before Dragon was spawned. Like, after the wave was gone in. But that TP from Zolau, again, you could see it, right? Victor has the opportunity. We have our ult. We can kill this Smolder. All we have to do is land a spell on him. But the whole team is there, peels for him. Victor counter-ints. We have 15 seconds on drag.
River control right now for Conduit. But you can see Andromeda forcing their way in, taking that banana brush by brute force. And now Conduit trying to scramble and set up some battle lines. Flame split off towards the bot lane right now. Camille coming in from a flank angle could be a big threat. Punda and Zolau going to have to watch out for Flame's position.
See, Joss is stacked, though. He has the execution available, so...
And the Smolder is also very scary. And Andromeda, you know, you can give up this dragon. As Andromeda, you don't have to fight this. As the Nature's Grasp is going to come out, Smoke is in a tough spot. In comes Flame. The bullet time is decent. Is going to get one kill onto the jungler. That could be really big. Zolau trapped in the Hextech Ultimatum. Flame flashing in to finish off the kill onto the mid laner. Punda is barely going to stay alive as he's able to trade back onto Flame. But the Smolder with the snot ball gets the slow. Punda and Colt running for their lives right now as the tiny dragon flaps forward. Doesn't have range on that second sneeze. And so the AD carry and the jungler for the Voidwalkers will be able to get away, but they will not be able to fight for this dragon.
I don't know, can they? They have Hex Gates, right? They can get back over here and look for a steal.
Not quite enough time to get back over here.
Okay. And
Dragon will be taken.
Mid lane tier 2 as well going down with that Rift Herald that the Allegation beaters plays. That's a pretty big win for them. And now it's that thing, if you bought 5 minutes, so you have time now for Flame to sit in a side lane where he doesn't have to be like team fighting, right? There's a top lane and a bot lane tower. He's just going to try his damnedest to get one of those down.
Yeah, definitely. Some more time for Camille. The side lane's going to be really valuable. Obviously, more time for the Smolder to continue scaling. Incredibly valuable as well. So it feels like a corner may have been turned for Conduit. Their composition very much online at this point. They keep winning fights. This game could be theirs. I mean, 3-0-4 right now for Jost. He's had a great game so far.
Yeah, just this thing. Punda is 4-0 on Misfortune, so you have to be able to play around these bullet times with these 3 completed items. I mean, we have our last Whisper. The Giant Slayer is done. There's going to be so much damage coming up from this MF if we're able to get a bullet time off.
Yeah, definitely. And the dive, not amazing. I mean, it's kind of got to be Flame, it feels like, or perhaps BR, to actually interrupt that. Here is Flame in the side lane, looking to pressure that bot inner, but Smoke with some decent wave clear. He's pretty tanky at this point, able to survive at least long enough to get most of that minion wave. As public execution not gonna land there onto the Maokai. Dashing forward. There's a nice double combo from BR. But find two with that headbutt pulverize. Midnight playing with him as he kites back across the world. As Punda could be in trouble the first time of the game, maybe for the misfortune. Midnight needs a little bit more and he will find it. BR now potentially in trouble. Doesn't have the unbreakable will, but is gonna be able to kite this one out. Hextech ultimatum onto Colt. But Flame not going to fully commit for that. Goes back in with another hookshot. BR, a massive headbutt flash, triple pulverize from the Alistar. He will get taken out, but he's traded himself for the mid laner. And Sourcewalker underneath the tower. Flame with the follow-up, the Smolder with the stacks, picks up the double kill. And just like that, the Voidwalkers are all on the floor. Storm 5 for 1. And Conduit Allegation beaters are in the base.
Yeah, the page has definitely been turned. I feel like we're turning a new chapter. This looks like a Conduit Allegation beaters. Huge win for them. They're going to take this inhib. They're going to be able to get this reset, take some camps on their way out even. And this is going to be such a huge reset for them, picking up such huge key items in that fight and getting these kills. This looks like a game that Conduit's going to win from now on.
I saw Flame going back in and I was so scared, but PR with the follow-up engage, that was masterful work from the Alistar.
Yeah, the stats don't, stat line doesn't show it, but he looking like the POG from this Alistar performance. It's been a masterclass from this support. Oh my god, look at that snot bubble. Oh, that's so
doing
gross.
Such a ridiculous amount of damage. Hex Optics done now for Jost, nearly a full item ahead of Punda. Baron alive on the map once again. 90 seconds on the Dragon, though. So Conduit, they still do have to play this out pretty carefully.
Yeah. It is still such a huge win condition. If Andromeda are able to somehow get the soul, look at the
Colt gonna get caught out in the jungle, and Drost is here. He's gonna flap over the wall. The Dragon is so scary. The Aurora with the Between Worlds as well. Colt flashes away, but he's still burning down. The Ambessa looks like will survive. Smoke not so lucky as Jost is dominating. 5v4 on the map for Conduit for 40 seconds. No teleport for Smoke. BR is feeling himself for sure and is gonna give a kill back over to Punda. And now Jost, oh my goodness, the Glacial Fissure, it connects onto the Smolder, and the bullet time comes out as well.
He's dying to the Victor ult.
He's dying to Chaos Storm, but just barely he will survive, and he goes godlike as he takes down the Braum. Blasting forward with Fortune, eliminates the Smolder, and now it is only Flame reviving underneath the inhibitor tower. Tries to hookshot over, but it's going to be a bullet to the face from the Misfortunes. Punda picks up the quadra kill, and Andromeda Voidwalkers are right back in it.
Okay, this is 30 seconds till Soul as well. This is just going to be round 2 of the fight. There's not a lot of time to analyze what happened. It was just too far forward for the Conduit Allegation beaters. They didn't have the setup, and they lost such huge key things. There's no GA now for Flame either for this fight. That's huge. Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, GA
and Andromeda got the start on this as well. They're going to be able to take this.
Oh,
That's a Baron counterplay.
Oh, man.
They're going straight for it.
Oh, no, if Conduit have time.
Yeah.
Soul now secured. And the Baron not even started just yet.
But they have so much vision for this. They can... I mean, it's just so hard to play this, right? They don't have the vision that we do. They're just going to try and set up a death brush and look for somebody coming in to this top side that they know that there's no vision for.
See if they're going to find an isolated target, but you can see the Voidwalkers moving back out onto the map in force as a unit. As they start to clear away some of this vision, the Baron window absolutely gone. And now it feels like for Conduit, this game, it goes back to your assessment from the draft, Storm. It's all about Flame in the side lane. It feels like that is the last win condition they have left now.
Yeah, it's just this thing of Hextech Soul gives you the ability to just run people down, right? It gives you that chain slow on all of your auto attacks and abilities. So it means that Joss can't safely wave clear and things like that. And same with Midnight, right? That they're just able to get tagged by these slows, which will mean that the Victor Gravity Well will get these full stuns. It means it's harder to run out of this MF bullet time mode of Punda. But Jost has started this Baron. There's no vision, right?
Fast, yeah. As Voidwalkers starting to move in. They do now see the Baron being taken. BR trying to buy as much time as possible. Mom gonna come out as well. The Call of the Forge got utilized by Smoke for the Baron's already been taken. Flame on the flank angle immediately deleted. The Misfortune is too strong.
They just gotta run.
Is too powerful. Can they get some of these Baron buffs out to safety? Sourcewalker.
Oh, Jost has gone slowed.
But Jost is taken down as well. It is 3 dead for Conduit, 5 alive for the Voidwalkers. But the wave's not in a good spot. They can't push to end just yet.
Yeah, and they're just buying more and more time for themselves. I mean, it's hard to say, but Punda's not really getting stronger at this point, right? We're pretty much full build on MF. We have 5 of our 6 items, and there's still room for Smolder to grow and become the dragon that we all know he wants to become. So there's potential for Conduit. It's not a finished game at this point, and we have a banger of a game happening. 40 kills in 30 minutes. Oh, it's a great game to be casting.
It's a fun one for sure. Yeah, I don't know if I'm entirely sold though, Storm. This game feels really hard for Conduit. From my perspective at this point, like, yes, the Smolder is still strong, but we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. It feels like it's going to be so difficult for him to actually play out these fights and keep himself safe while still doing that damage that he needs to do, right?
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things that's so hard for Andromeda to actually like set up a push. They don't have like the damage, and with Baron gone for so long, there's buying a lot of time.
All right, well, we'll see.
And it's giving time to Camille.
Yeah, he's taking that top inner right now. Smoke is now moving over to defend, but he's not going to be in time to save. That top inner I think was already gone, actually.
Yeah, it's already dead. But yeah, it's just this thing of the push and pull of the Camille that you're going to be able to buy time just for the sheer value of this sideline thing here. So it's going to be what they're able to do. It's just if Smoke is able to get with his team and be able to land that Ornn ult when Jost isn't by his tower.
Yeah.
We can see Flame still sitting up here, is buying time, and is going to be able to start hitting this wave now and be able to make sure once he sees someone on the map, once Jost reveals where someone is, he knows that he can go forward and he can start trying to hit this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I don't think side lane now. Like that's
I mean, his GA is coming up, so there is that, but Midnight's coming. They're looking for the fight here.
Look for the collapse onto the mid lane. His mom's going to come out, 6 dogs engaged on the bullet time. Does get the kill onto the Aurora. Flame diving forward. They do take out the Braum, but it's Camille into the GA, and Smoke with the Call of the Forge God is going to come through in the team fight. It's just a wash, Storm. I was just talking about it. Conduit, why are you opting into the 5v5 against the Hextech Soul? The game is now over. Andromeda Voidwalkers, they were destroyed in game number 1 pretty handily. But from everything that we've seen tonight, Storm, they are definitely the stronger team.
Yeah, and it's just the stream curse. Stomp game 1, lose the series. It's continuing. This is 3 weeks in a row now, is it not?
Oh, man, I think you're right, actually. I didn't even I wasn't thinking about that at all, but now that you mention it, we have had a lot of that as BR desperately tries to get to the minion wave, but he just can't do it. Still about 5 seconds on the Aurora. The Nexus will fall. Not even that late of a game. So you're going to get to your dinner pretty quickly after all. Storm, 33 minutes. Andromeda Voidwalkers take the 2-1 victory and secure themselves playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big win for them. It's going to build some momentum, showing that they can play a different style as well, right? Like you were mentioning, for themselves looking in those later rounds. I think for Conduit Allegation viewers, it's just that thing of if you're playing towards a win condition, let them be of that win condition. If Flame is going to get all of those resources and everything to it, let that guy play on the sideline and win the game. Someone was calling that we have a fight opportunity here, and I don't think it was Flame.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we really saw that every time the Camille grouped up. Like Flame was putting on so much pressure, and the side lane was like absolutely destroying Smoke, and that 1v1 or whoever was trying to match the Camille was just having a miserable time. But I feel like every time he grouped up to try to go for the fights, it just was not working out for him. Ends the game here 4-6-11. And it's just I agree. It feels like Conduit weren't really playing to their outs there.
Yeah, definitely top diff from Orin coming out here in this game. Good job, Smoke. You absorbed the pressure. You got your team that win. But I think if Conduit won, this was like an easy MVP vote for me for BR for Alistair. He played so well on that pick for so long. But it's hard for me to say for Andromeda who the MVP is. Like Punda, I think, played absolutely phenomenally. But he had a lot of people like throwing himself into them. Like, I don't know if it's just like as clear cut of, oh, it's just the ADC. Look, they only died once and he was had 14 kills, right? And was melting people in the late game. Because I don't know, like in the pivotal moments, if Punda was really doing it. Certainly in the late game, he was carrying. But in the mid game, I don't know who the actual big winner was for this Andromeda team.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one. You know, there's nobody else that's really standing out as a big contender. Oh,
is it Colt?
Here thinking maybe Colt on the Ambessa. What's the case for Colt? Macros, hit us.
Yeah.
And just the stream can't hear you, right? So I gotta relay that. Okay, yeah. So saying that Colt had a lot of counter gank angles in this game where he was really able to kind of counteract a lot of what Sourcewalker was going for. You know, we did see, I think, Storm, a lot of pressure coming out, you know, particularly from BR and Sourcewalker kind of frequently collapsing towards that mid lane. And Colt definitely was there for some pretty nice counter gank angles. There's that one attempt, actually, I think I remember from Sourcewalker, BR, and Midnight, where they were trying to go for that fast play onto Zolau, and they were so close to finishing him off, but Colt comes in and turns it around. So a decent shout, I think. Are you convinced?
As much as I want to be and to give it to the jungle POG, I think it actually does have to be Punda. As much as I don't want to give it to the ADC, just had the ADC brain of the biggest damage number, obviously, is the MVP. It's probably Punda. I mean, while his team did play well, there wasn't like some clear standout, and the guy has a 17 KDA and did the most damage in the game. I think it's pretty hard to argue against him, and there isn't really an argument to be like, oh, it was obviously the setup from Braum that did this, or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, certainly Six Dogs, I think, played well overall.
Yeah,
and it does feel a little bit weird to give a POG to a Misfortune. Just because, you know, it is one of the easiest to pilot 80 carries in the game. But, you know, I'm actually thinking about the base defense when Conduit were pushing down the top lane. It looked like they were maybe actually going to be able to end, and Punta ended up picking up the quadra kill for that like final stand in the base. Played that fight really well. It was really decisive. It was the flash forward onto Jost to finish off the Smolder from Punta was definitely, you know, a split-second decision, a big-time play there. So I think I agree. I think it does have to be the Misfortune. But good attempt, Macros. I liked your attempted sell for the jungle POG. I do appreciate that. Anything else, Storm? Any other final thoughts regarding tonight's match?
No, I think it's going to be really interesting to see from these match results and kind of figuring out who's going to be playing who in these upcoming things, because elimination's on the line. We're going to be saying goodbye to all the teams who went, you know, kind of that were at the very bottom of their divisions after this game tonight. And then next week, we're going to be seeing some elimination games happening as well. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to cast one of those. Unsure where that information will be revealed. Guessing we will see that very soon here. But there's a ton.
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was just about to say there's a ton of league left for this Aegis for ADL, right? We're very far away still from our winner. There's a lot of teams vying for it, and there's going to be some cross-group competition. And that's always the most fun, is being able to go, no, actually, your division sucked. Our division was super good. You got our team that was 0-3 would have beaten any of your teams. It's always so much fun to get the trash talk out and things like that. So hoping we get some really great results and we see some upsets coming through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to this qualification stage just in general. I've never really seen a format quite like this. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that all looks, how that's going to be shaping up. I'm looking in the match results channel right now. I don't see we do have like a 2-0 for Pentaflex Academy over Team Samsara and a 2-0 for XSV Orion over Team Ambitious. But I don't have any other results from the other match that was happening in the Shrema division tonight. That was, of course, the Dorado Theta against Flash Syndicate. Obviously, the result of that match doesn't, I think, matter for the standings anymore because the Voidwalkers were able to win this game. So not too consequential, but regardless, definitely agree. Looking forward to that qualification stage. But I think that is going to do it from us tonight. So for myself, from Storm and Macros and the whole team here at Aegis, thank you everybody very much for watching. Do apologize again for those technical difficulties we had at the beginning of the stream. We weren't able to watch that game number 1, but hopefully you all were able to enjoy those games 2 and 3 as much as we did. And don't forget, we do have AML Week 5 tomorrow night, going to be Conduit Celestis, something like that, versus Final Boss at Coney Island. Another fantastic team name. Amazing. Well, that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you, everybody, again, very much for watching. Have a good one. See you next time.